Hi guys, my name is Christine, and today I'm talking about how to actually manifest money. So if you follow these steps, and these steps are really easy, and basically if you follow these steps, you'll be able to manifest more money. It's no nonsense, these things actually work. This is how you can manifest more money into your life, whether you want to become rich or wealthy, or whether you just want to be living comfortably. Okay, so this is how you do it. So I'm going to go through basically very briefly all of the points I want to go over, and then I'm going to go into more in depth after I've listed all of these different ways that you can, these different steps that you need to take to become wealthy, to manifest more money. Okay, so the first point is you must know how much you want. So you must have like a figure in mind. So it could be how much you want to earn in a month, or it could be how much you want to earn annually, so every year. So you need to have an exact amount. That's the point, right? It doesn't matter how frequently you get this. It just matters that you're concise about it and you know exactly how much you want. Okay? So that's the first thing that you need to do. The second thing is you must have thoughts of abundance and not lack. Okay? The next thing is to appreciate and give thanks for how much you receive. Okay? So this is all about being appreciative of what is coming to you right now, right? It doesn't matter if you're not getting the right amount of wealth. It just matters that you are appreciative of what you are actually receiving currently, and continue to be appreciated, to appreciate whatever wealth or abundance comes your way. So having that grateful attitude and appreciation, okay? And the last point is to create things that are useful, right? To create, so if you want to get rich, you need to become a creator. You need to create things, okay? So let's go more in depth into all of these points, okay? So the first point, obviously, is you must know how much you want. So you need an exact figure, okay? So something that can help with this is if you perhaps write it down every day, like write down exactly how much you want. It could be for that day. Let's say you're in a sales job, right? And you could actually earn a commission today. So that's something. But if it's something that perhaps you need to work on, perhaps you've already got like a side business that you're trying to grow. Perhaps you have a blog that you have just recently monetized, or you're trying to monetize, and you're going to figure out how much, something along like that, if that's the way you want to get your money. So you must know exactly how much you want. So what is that for you, right? And to write it down, perhaps every day, just once. You don't have to write it down loads. Just write down, I want to earn whatever it is this year. Okay, so the next 365 days, this is how much I want to earn. Okay, something like that. Have something concise that you can write down every day really easily, that you can probably write down within like 30 seconds or so. So that's what you mean by that's what I mean by concise. You need to have an exact figure, okay? Because if you don't, and you don't really know, and you're kind of a bit wishy-washy about it, like, oh, I just want to be wealthy, it's not very it doesn't have as much power unless you have more of a concise thing. Because the reason why that works, and the reason why being concise works, is because that if you are more concise with your goals, it's much easier to aim for. It's much easier to be clear on things. Whereas if you keep on changing your goal, like maybe 1 month you're like, oh yeah, I want to earn 10 grand this month, and then next month you're thinking, oh, I wish I was a millionaire, and you're writing down those kinds of goals. It's too wishy-washy. It's not good enough. You need to be more concise. So something clear that you can aim for, okay? So the next thing is you must have thoughts of abundance and not lack, okay? So why is this important, right? So if you have a lack mentality, if you don't have an abundance mentality, then it's very difficult for you to become wealthy, because you're thinking thoughts of poverty. And when you think thoughts of poverty and how bad things are and how scarce money is and all those kinds of things, that's what you're focusing on, right? That's what you are seeing, and that's what you're going to see, right? And if that's your predominant thought of how much you need money and you're so poor and you need so much money, that's not going to help you, because you're just going to basically keep on seeing what that is. You're just going to keep on seeing those things. You're just going to keep on seeing lack. So there is a part of our brain called, I think it's called like the reticular active system or something like that. But anyway, this is what you hear a lot of people talking when it comes to like the law of attraction. So basically, when you focus on something, you start seeing that everywhere. So if you're focused on poverty, you're just going to see poverty everywhere. But if you are focusing on abundance, then you'll see more abundance everywhere. And you can start really simple, right? You don't have to be like, oh yeah, there's an abundance of money. Because if you don't actually feel like that and it kind of makes you feel a bit screwy, right? Then it's not going to feel right to you. You're going to feel like you're BSing yourself, basically. And you don't want to feel like you're BSing yourself. So first of all, if you struggle with the abundance mentality, just start with, there's an abundance of sand in the world. There's an abundance of blades of grass. There's an abundance of trees. There's an abundance of rain. There's an abundance of sunshine. There is an abundance of people. There is an abundance of cars. There is an abundance of businesses, right? So start off with those sorts of things and start looking for abundance in life. Start looking for great amounts of things. It doesn't have to be wealth just yet, okay? If you're uncomfortable with thinking that there's a lot of wealth in the world, okay? So that's really important, okay? So you've got to focus on abundance. When you start thinking, catch yourself, when you start thinking of lack, of I can't afford that, I don't have enough money. Don't think about those things. If you're thinking about those things, then shift it to thoughts of abundance. Like I said, it doesn't have to be thoughts about money just yet, okay? But if you can focus on the abundance of money, then great. You know, you can think, okay, so right now, perhaps I don't quite have the abundance that I want, but there is an abundance of money out there. There is loads of money circulating in and out of different businesses each and every day. There's people all over the world right now buying things. There's lots of money out there, and I can have a piece of that. I can have a slice of that, right? So just focus on those thoughts, not about your current wealth. Just think in terms of actual wealth around the world, right? And think of that, because that's a little bit more comfortable. It's a lot more manageable. It's a lot more easier to think about. And that will put you in a better abundance mindset, okay? So the next part was gratitude and appreciating things. So one of the things that can really get you in a good mood for gratitude, for appreciating things, is once you've written down basically how much you want. So that was one of my first exercises for you in the first point that I made, which is you must know how much you want. So once you've written down every day your goal, how much you want to receive, below that, after you finish writing out your goal, your money goal, then write down 3 things that you can be grateful for today, that you can appreciate. Even if it is something as simple as you had a nice breakfast this morning or something like that, right? Think of 3 things that you can be grateful for and write them down, because that'll put you in a more appreciative mindset and give thanks for those things, okay? Even if it's something as simple as, oh, I found a penny on the street. Now some people, they find a penny and they think, why only a penny? I need more than a penny. I need 1,000. I need 1,000 pennies, or I need $1,000, or I need £1,000 or something like that. But just be grateful for any kind of wealth that you find. Just if it's just like only like 10p or 10 cents, just be grateful for it. Be thankful for the abundance that keeps on flowing into your life. Or you can think of other things that you can be thankful for, like, for example, the one that I used about having a hot breakfast this morning, or a nice breakfast, or the fact that you got a nice cup of tea or a nice cup of coffee or something like that. Appreciate those things. It could be even just appreciating your own health or the health of your family members. Being grateful that your family is still around or something like that. Something as simple as that. But just think of things that you can appreciate and be grateful for, because that again helps you get into more of an abundance mindset. So you can kind of start to see how all of these things are linked, okay? So the last thing, and I think this is more important than everything else, and that is to create things that are useful, right? So there's a quote by Wallace Wattles, and it's a bit of I'm going to abbreviate it quite a lot. But he says in his book, The Science of Getting Rich, is, create Do not compete. Get thoughts of competition out of your mind. Don't compete with others. Just create things that you feel that you're good at, that you can create for humanity, that is of benefit to those people, that is of benefit to humanity. Because if you create useful things, so it could be writing articles, it could be writing books, it could be making useful YouTube videos, it could be creating useful products for an online shop. Create, it doesn't have to be those things, but it could be those things, right? What is it for you? How can you create and be, because you are a creator. As human beings, we have this ability to be able to create things, okay? And there's evidence of that all around. Like, we can create skyscrapers, we can create smartphones, computers, we can create shops, we can create, we can create gardens, we can plant things. We can grow things. We are creators. That's something that we are just extremely good at as human beings. So you are a creator, even if you feel like, because I think a lot of people think of being a creator and then also being creative. You don't have to be an artist. You don't have to be creative in that sense. You can just create. It doesn't have to be an artistic sort of venture. Like, we create many different things that are not artistic. Well, some may say it's a bit subjective. Is it objective or subjective? I can't remember what the two differences between those two things. But sometimes, obviously, someone can create a computer and someone may think of it as art. Obviously that kind of thing happens. But the point is that it doesn't have to be an artistic thing. You don't have to be artistic to be a creator. So just create products, whatever those things may be, and make sure that they're useful, right? So you want to create things basically that are easy for people to buy, right, but are extremely useful, right? So that the people that buy those things don't feel like they've been swindled. They don't feel like they've been tricked out of their money, right? So create things that are actually genuinely useful for humanity. Now, obviously, that's a bit more difficult than the other things, perhaps, because it takes action, right? And you cannot manifest money without taking action. Right, now sometimes you can take the wrong action, because I think a lot of people get this sort of mixed up when it comes to like the law of attraction and manifesting. They think, oh yeah, I can just sit here and just meditate and attract to me the things that I want. But the point is that when you are in that mood, when you're in the mood of I'm trying to manifest something, what you need to act on, right, and the action that you have to take is the action that comes from your intuition, right? Following your intuition, acting on those impulses, acting on those ideas that come to you after you've done your meditating or whatever it may be. You have to take action, right? This is not emphasized enough when it comes to the law of attraction. You must take action, but that doesn't mean that you have to take action in a way that you don't like. Find something that inspires you. Inspired action is going to be so much more effective than you taking action on something that you feel like you need to force yourself to do. Okay, so that's the difference, right? Because there's wrong action and then there's right action. If you're inspired, if you feel good, if you know what you're making is actually useful and it's going to benefit many people, then you are taking the right action. If you are doing something and you feel bad about it, whether it's because you just don't want to do it, you don't feel inspired to do it, you're bored with it, or perhaps it's something you don't like, or you feel like you're wronging someone in some way by trying to do this thing, then that's not the right action, right? So being a creator, which you are, is really important. So you've got to create things in order to become wealthy, and that's how you'll manifest wealth, right? So I'm not saying this is going to happen tomorrow, that you're going to get wealthy tomorrow, that you're going to get rich tomorrow, because you might not, right? In fact, and it is probably more likely that you won't. But I don't want to say to you what you can and cannot do. Maybe you can create something today and perhaps it'll go viral and you'll become wealthy overnight, okay? I'm not saying what's possible for you. Only you know what is possible for you and what you believe that you can do, okay? But you might just have to be a little bit wary that it may take some time, okay? So it's best to do every day the best that you can do that day. Try your best. Do everything in an efficient way. So this is something else from The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. He says you need to take efficient action, right? So the way that you take efficient action is if you always do your best. Try your best. Do all that you can do, okay? And create those useful products, or take that useful action to help someone today right? Something along those lines. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and this is how you actually manifest more money into your life. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.